Four hosts, they bout to wreck shit like Marco. Addicted to the Giants like it's Netflix and Narcos. The CEO making big moves as per usual. Captain Negative calling everybody delusional. This podcast is number one. Like when you take a piss, so share the link and pass it. Like Big Jamaican spliffs.
Can you guys hear me all right?
The sophisticated
yes, sir.
I spit offensive lines. Now Tim can take a sip of some beer because he likes the taste of it, right? Don't forget the New York Giants beat the Patriots twice. The sickest dudes eating chips and salsa like it's
How about now?
Win or lose, always good.
Okay.
Still good to go.
Yeah. Man, I somehow had the speakerphone thing on. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
If it's funny, you can rewind to bleed blue. Means it's in their jeans like Levi's. Eli, man in the shit, just like a sailor. Captain, we attacking bum rush like Lawrence Taylor. Podcast on point, the sharpest arrows. BBG stay gritty like Mark Bavaro.
Are we good to go now? Are we starting? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, no intro music. We're just going. Oh, did you? Oh, damn. All right. Well, hey, welcome, Bleedbigblue. You got Tim on the podcast, and we got Nick and we got Pat.
Good evening, gentlemen.
This is gonna be a little off. This is gonna be a little show that's gonna be a little different because right now Captain Negative's not on, and right now you just call me Captain F and Positive then, because
it's hard to be negative in this day and age right now.
Well, you would think, but you don't talk to me, and me and Captain Negative talk on a daily, and we find out what he actually thinks. But right now he's even happy about Daniel Jones. I love to hear what you guys' opinions.
However, he is still complaining that it took him 2 years to figure it out, right?
Well, I'm sure he'll be on in a little bit, so I know the arguments will happen anyway. But you'll see.
He's actually that guy makes a lot of fucking sense to me, man. He said he said something about Jalen Ramsey the other day, and I was like, man, why would we do that? And then if you think about it, it's like, holy shit, we're a totally different defense if we get that guy.
Well, obviously, you know what? It's totally understand, but are you willing to give a first-round pick for Jalen Ramsey?
I mean, our offense is. I mean, I think this kid can put up 30 plus a week. So if you get a guy that can take half the field away, and then you get a pass rusher, you go defense, and then being that everybody else is locked up on offense, and I mean, you can go from a pretender from a nobody to a playoff team real quick.
Well, if he doesn't get 30 points,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ned.
I said if he doesn't get 30 points against Washington, I will be extremely disappointed because the lowest completion percentage they've allowed, I believe, is either 76 or 71% is the lowest completion percentage they've held a quarterback to.
That's excellent.
Yes.
And the funny part about that, Ned, is who's their main person on defense?
Oh, I know. Collins can't.
Yeah, Landon Collins. And I'll put this disclaimer out here. I was a big Landon Collins fan when he was a Giant. But the problem he had in college, which he still has now, is he can't cover. He's not a good coverage guy. And it's getting exposed now. And all the people that were like, why did we re-sign Landon Collins? First of all, the money that he got, there's no way in hell we were going to pay. And he's doing nothing for that money right now for Washington.
We have an equal in Collins and Jabril Peppers. That guy can stop the run, can't cover fucking nobody.
Yeah, he
just way cheaper.
Let me just give you some stats. So he's got a 6-year, $84 million contract. So far, he has forced 0 interceptions, 0 fumbles, has 0 sacks, and 0 passes defended.
Yep.
Huh.
He leads the team in tackles, but that's the only stat.
Do Do you know what Washington gives up to tight ends? Because that's really the stat you want to look at for if you want to single Collins out.
Well, yeah, I agree with that, but
because the guy stops the
Washington,
run. We all know that guy stops the run. He's one of the hardest helmets in football.
he's a glorified linebacker, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, he's a safety, but he's just a linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 0 passes defended, man.
That's my point as far as
even fucking
that was my point
I think has a
long
pass
before
defended.
why we didn't pay him. You don't pay Landon Collins because he's only doing half the job of a safety. He's stopping the run, but he's not stopping the pass. And you know what? And just like we said, Jabril Peppers. Hey, we get another guy that's not stopping the pass too. But at least Jabril Peppers has the athletic ability to cover. I think he's just learning the defense. I guarantee he plays better by coming to the end of the season as he's gotten used to this D.
Peppers has potential to grow. Collins does not. He maxed out that one season, and all we've seen is decline. And the only consistency he's had has been stopping the run, which that's a skill, but is it worth 6 years, $84 million?
And the other consistent thing the other consistency that is he's gotten injured. The way he plays, he lends his body to get injured every year. And it's just going to get worse as he gets older.
Definitely not worth it, Ned.
No, it's definitely not worth it. But you know what? Let's talk about from what it sounds like is going to happen. It's Haskins versus Jones.
Maybe. It might be Jones versus Colt McCoy.
Oh, is that what they're talking right now?
Did you see that quote I posted in the chat? Well, here, I'll just read it out.
Go ahead.
Colt McCoy was on the field with Dwayne Haskins during today's walkthrough. And while Gruden said Haskins remains the backup QB, he also left the door open on the possibility of McCoy stepping into that role. Obviously, if Case can't play, then the backup usually does play. Depending on how Colt is tomorrow, we'll see how he is. I haven't seen him throw the ball in about a month and a half. So he's leaving the door open for potentially Colt McCoy to be fucking starting against us.
Well, that being said, he's really doing that. He might be just playing around with the defense coordinator at that point. Just don't want to give the full thing. Hey, we're going with Haskins.
If you want to start Dwayne Haskins sometime this season, this is the game you're going to want to start him. He's going to have no pass rush. He's going to have all day to throw. He's going to build some confidence.
Yeah, but see, I don't know if I entirely agree with that, because if Daniel Jones wins, then you're going to start getting the shit talk of, because you know that if he starts, this is going to get billed as Jones versus Haskins, the battle for who should have been picked higher in the draft. Which it's fucking, that narrative's fucking bullshit, but that's going to be plastered everywhere.
Absolutely.
And if he loses, does that shatter his confidence when everybody on the talk shows the next few weeks goes, clearly Jones was better than Haskins. He beat him in the game. They had a game together. He beat him.
Good point.
Then do you keep, once you start Haskins, you can't really put back in Keenum because,
no, it's over after that. Haskins is in for the rest of the season.
Do I trust that Gruden gives enough of a shit to not try to stay loyal to Keenum? No.
Well, here's the problem with Gruden is Gruden's on the hot seat. And, if he plays Haskins and they're losing, even if Haskins is showing a little progress and all that, there's a good chance Gruden's gone anyway. So Gruden wants to get the wins. So he actually has a job. So he might stick with Keenum as long as possible.
He would be on the hot seat with any other franchise, but you're forgetting who you're talking about. This is the fucking Washington Redskins. If Dan Snyder likes you, congratulations, you've just got a coaching job for life. If Bruce Allen thinks you're manipulatable, congratulations, you've just got a job for life.
He's had it longer than he should have. at this
Yeah,
point.
well, exactly. And every year it's, oh, Gruden's on the hot seat. Gruden's on the hot seat. Oh, when's he gonna go? And he never fucking goes because he just sucks up to ownership and whoever, like Bruce Allen, because that entire franchise sucks. Like everybody talks shit about Mara. Oh my god, I if we had Schneider, I would like go mad.
But I mean, honestly, if you think about it, Snyder would get you that. If you guys wanted that star, which everybody clamors for, maybe not the right move, but the star, Snyder would go and get him.
Yeah, but they're always busts. It's like he finds a way to choose stars that will immediately suck ass the moment they set foot in DC. It's
Well, hey,
honestly kind of impressive, which you know
I'm
what?
fine with it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm not complaining. Please continue to do that, Schneider. But it's just like, oh man, if that was my team, oh fuck, that would be awful.
But
I
you know
mean,
what? I love that this Washington game's coming. I think the one, just like you guys say, Haskins perfect time for him to start. I think it's perfect time for Giants to play Washington. Washington's offensive line is beat up, and let's put it this way: Eric Flowers is starting on that offensive line. So
They
we
moved him
can
inside though,
possibly
which
get a
where he should have been.
confidence coming right off a win. We get to that confidence boost. Maybe maybe get a few sacks, get a pass rush going. And honestly, there as much as I actually like this kid, that Terry McLaughlin, their wide receiver for Washington,
Oh,
he's their
Lauren,
number.
yeah.
Yeah, he's their number one.
let's
Oh, for
put
sure.
Baker on him.
And I think Baker could shut him down, and I think that'd be the confidence boost that Baker would need. Or you can put Janoris Jenkins on him and see what happens.
Yeah, let Baker
But
take Paul. Well, actually, Paul Richardson's banged up, I think. So Baker would take who?
I would trust Baker would take either one, to be honest with you.
I Who the fuck's gonna cover Jordan Reed though? But then
Jordan
again,
Reed's already it might be done with his career.
or
Vernon
whoever
Davis.
Vernon
Oh,
Davis. Yeah, sorry. I
Vernon
can't
Davis.
keep
Well,
track
that's
of these.
Pepper. Pepper should be able to cover Vernon Davis. He should be able to.
Yeah, keyword should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wouldn't give up on Peppers yet.
I would love to see. Go ahead, brother.
Let these guys learn the defense first. Let
I
these
would
guys
love
learn
to
the
see.
defense.
I'd love to see Baker take a step with whoever their number 2 is. Whatever you can put Jenkins on McLaurin. We know he sucks. I would love to see Baker cover somebody man to man, and I don't care who it is, but as long as it's man to man, I don't want to them to throw him in a zone.
Hey, you know what? We actually did play zone successfully in the Bucks game.
Well, technically, that you know what ended up happening in the second. Yeah, we played zone. That's when we were getting toasted in the first half. You know when we started playing better is when they stuck our corners man to man, and that's the way we played. That's what happened in the second half. That was the big difference of why we actually stopping people.
Jenkins was following Mike Evans.
Yeah, and Baker was right on his guys. And honestly, I think that's confidence boost Baker needs. Baker's a man-to-man corner.
He played a great game last week.
Yep. And honestly, as much as I beat up on Janoris second on my list video, but I think Janoris was just outmatched. I mean, it's hard to go against a guy that's bigger than you, faster than you, and do it by yourself. I don't. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
How you guys doing?
All right. What's
All
your
right.
name? Where you from?
Dominic, Florida.
Oh, what's going on, Dom?
Yeah. Last time I spoke to you guys is like during the draft, and after the whole pick with Daniel Jones, and me and
Yeah.
Captain Negative wanted the whole storm the castle thing. I'm eating a little bit of crap, this week.
Yeah,
Wasn't
definitely is.
expecting all of that.
Don't see it.
Yeah,
Hold
I just wanted to bring up the point that I keep hearing that the Redskins aren't going to play Haskins yet, and it kind of breaks my heart, but it makes sense because I don't think that they want Dwayne Haskins to be embarrassed by Daniel Jones out on the
Well,
field.
that's absolutely makes a great point. They
No,
don't.
it
They,
doesn't. No, it doesn't. Come on, if you're going to host the show, Tim, do it right. That doesn't make a
oh,
great
here we
point.
go. We knew Cap
That's
Negative be
not
in the
how.
back.
That's not the reason why, Tim. Come on. That you think
Oh,
that's the reason why
Haskins.
they're not
You know
going to
what? I
start
don't
him?
think Haskins is ready. Did you guys see the picture of him? Wow.
What did Tim? What did we
Heated sitting
say?
there
Tim,
going
what did
over
we
what's
say?
going on
Tim,
the
what did
play.
we? Tim, what did we say in the beginning of 2018 when we were talking about all the quarterbacks that were coming out for that draft?
Oh,
We
Haskins
said
needed a year.
no, 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 no,
Haskins
no, no,
needed a
no,
year.
no, no, no. I'm talking about 2018. 2018. I'm talking about those
Okay.
the year all those guys came out. What did we say? We said that some of them, all of them had the talent, right? We
But
said
yeah, some
all
of them
these
might need
guys
a
had
year.
the skills. Where were they going to end up? Right?
Yep.
We said, are they gonna like when Darnold end up with the Jets? We said, yikes, because we know how the Jets are run, right? When Cleveland
True.
was when Cleveland took Baker, you said, okay, look, we liked Baker, but Jesus Christ, Cleveland, like that's like there's a rotation of coaches and offensive coordinators and everything, like that matters. Like Lamar Jackson, right? Baltimore, they buy into his talent. They change their system. They tweak their system. They made it about the player, right?
Yep.
Same coaches, right? General manager, very like so. Like where these guys end up is important. Let's get this right out in the open. Washington is a cluster. Like we think we were bad a couple of months ago. Washington has been worse, is worse. They are a complete mess. The owner literally fights with the general manager. There's two complete factions running that franchise, and Gruden is clueless on the sideline. So we could sit here the last time we spoke about Dwayne Haskins, let's call a spade a fucking spade. We all had glowing reviews of the kid's talent when he was coming out for the draft. Are we really about to sit here without seeing him at all, knowing where he
Yeah,
is,
I'll give you. I'll
and
give you
come here
that. As
and
far
come
as
in here and
not
say
seeing
that
him.
he's a done deal? Like even yeah, and I saw a tweet before that said no matter what, if Haskins and Jones plays, the narrative is going to be if Jones wins, Haskins was a bust. If Haskins wins, Jones was a bust, and neither are fucking true because both of them would have played a combined 3 games. We're looking at shit in a very small capsule snapshot of what it really matters. Like, and it's fun because it gives us conversation and something to talk about. But in the grand scheme of things, when this Sunday comes and this Sunday goes, we are going to be no closer to knowing about not only Haskins, but Daniel Jones. That being
Very true.
said, that
You
being
trade
said,
3
that
year.
being said, last Sunday was the most fucking fun that I have had in the 2 years watching football. And I don't know if we're gonna eat crow on Daniel Jones because I think that tough times are still ahead. But I think
Yeah.
that the one thing Daniel Jones gave us was hope in what could potentially be someday.
Can
And
I?
that we take with us and we pray that we were wrong, the ones who bitched about it and wanted to storm the castle.
True.
What's up,
I
guys?
I,
How you
I
guys
wanted
doing
to
now?
I wanted to make a point about how if at the very least we saw a guy that picked up his team, put his team on his back.
Is that it?
Saquon Barkley was hurt for the entire second quarter, and Daniel Jones, if it was just for a game, then that was a great game. But he came, he put us on his back, and he took us to the promised land. And I haven't seen that in like 10, 15. It was great.
I'm with you. As far as Daniel Jones, my biggest thing with him is the poise. The fact
Oh,
that you made mistakes, went back in there, it was like nothing happened. It
I
wasn't
love
like
it.
I'm frantic. And
and
you know what? I think going to Duke, helped him out because he can take a sack. He knows how to take a sack.
Yeah.
You know what I
And-
really want to see?
He took the
Not
beating.
because I expect
and he
us
kept
to
getting
win,
up.
but because
Yep.
I want to see
100%.
how he does against it. I want to see him against not Pittsburgh, fucking the Patriots.
Me too. Me too. Thursday night. That's gonna be a
Well,
great game.
it's going to be. He's got. Let me tell you something. That's a nice little back-to-back test, right? Minnesota's D at home, and then in 4 days after that, 3 days after that, whatever the fuck, Thursday night, Belichick. Like that's a nice little bang bang right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
It's a
don't
good experience
expect
for the
him to
kid. No
win.
matter what happens, it's a good experience for the kid.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to win, but what I would like to see would be less turnovers, and I mean I hope this
Just don't even Ned, don't worry about it. Like don't worry about it.
He's
Like
learning from
have fun
everything.
with don't worry about winning. Like just have fun watching football again. Because you're not looking at anything close to what's a finished product.
You know what was nice to see? We threw the ball freaking 40 yards downfield. That catch to Slayton, that was awesome. Where he just steps to the side and just bombed it. I was like, I haven't seen that in a while. That was great.
You know what you haven't seen? You know what you haven't seen in a while? You know why it was fun? Because there was energy.
Yeah.
It was palpable. You felt it. The
Daniel
team
Jones
felt
comes
it.
in. Let's
And I
fucking
don't know necessarily that it was just Daniel Jones. Like I think that if it was a year ago and you would have had a young quarterback and put him into that locker room and the kid would have got a chance to play, I think you would have seen the same energy that you're seeing in Buffalo, the same energy that I know the play isn't well right now, but you saw it spurts last time in Cleveland with their young quarterback. I mean that's what happens. And the mistakes, like don't worry about it. Like the fumbles, like grimace. Oh fuck! Like that's gonna hurt. Like shit. That's a bad time to fumble, Danny. Like that's damn, Daniel. Like what the fuck, bro? Like but it's okay. Like it's just a learning experience for him now. And if he's doing it 3 years from now, then we'll have a conversation about it. Right now, don't worry about it and enjoy that we have a kid that can get better than what you're seeing right now as the game slows down for him. So no negatives whatsoever. Bad plays on film give him something to go back and learn, go back and look at, and then he can learn from it. There's
And the
nothing
biggest thing
wrong
right
with
now,
that.
he's passing the tests.
He's
Every
playing.
test is going. He's passing the tests right now, and he's winning. You know what?
They had no.
The
Correct
positives
me if I'm
are
wrong.
outweighing
Correct me if
any
I'm wrong. They
negatives.
had no time. Did they have any timeouts when he got the ball back?
No. Or they had one, I think. But
I didn't think they. I didn't
I
think
want to
they
say
had
they
any.
had one.
I didn't think they. I didn't think they had any. I really didn't. But regardless, like in his opening, he got the ball with 6 minutes left, down a touchdown, couldn't do anything with it. Gave the ball back, then got the ball back, and led his team down with what 2 and change or 3 and change to score a touchdown and win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense did everything they can to try to give it away. Janoris Jenkins, may God strike them down. But I mean, other than that, I mean, if you're a Giant, even if they would have lost that game, and the dick in me actually would have preferred it. To be honest with you, like to me,
For
the
the
ideal
draft pick?
situation is Jones plays bats out shit crazy, and you lose a bunch of 38, 35 games because that means we're going to get a high draft pick next year. But that's just me. I'm sick like that. But everything you see from Jones, be encouraged with. There's no negatives.
And with every game that he plays
Playing.
better,
That's the
just
most
think about this,
important.
guys. There's going to be people that are going to want to play with him.
Yeah. Can
You know,
I
go ahead.
want to ask Captain and kind of all you guys a question, right? We have a lot of young players right now on that defense, so we can anticipate that defense to actually get better. Hopefully, fingers crossed as the season goes along. Minus Jenkins, because fuck him. Do you think that maybe things might turn around and we might actually have a good season versus a terrible one.
I got news for you. On Monday, I posed a question to the guys, and I said, I started thinking about the future, right? I said on Sunday, I saw a glimpse of the future, and I got excited. And I said, okay, I know the negatives that come with the guy, right? But I also know that we're going to probably have around between 90 and $100 million in cap space next year. I know that I got some young pieces in my front seven that look like they have some potential. I know that Jenkins is a mess. I know I have Baker, who's on a rookie contract, and I traded up in the first round to get him, which means I have a fifth-year option on Baker. So I'm paying him good money. I'm not paying him a lot of money for the next 4 seasons. Do I put a package together that doesn't cost me a first-round pick this year and try to go get Jalen Ramsey? Now, I know the negatives that come along with that, but that I want when you talk about the hope and the future and is there a chance, like that's what you could start thinking about. Like, what are the missing pieces now? Like, if you have your quarterback, then you say, okay, what are the missing pieces? Well, a cornerback that can shut down the left side of the field or travels is a rare thing. A guy that travels all across the field with guys. Jalen Ramsey is one of those guys. And if you believe in positional cost of value, then you believe that cornerbacks are worth the money. So if you're going to have $90 million and there's a chance to be able to add the best cornerback in the league to a defense where you have some pieces on the front seven, it's all of a sudden, when you have your quarterback, very tempting to fucking have that conversation. Now, you can have the debate whether you want Ramsey in the locker room culturally or anything like that, right? But you cannot debate the fact that the guy is an all-pro talent, and if you got him in a situation where he got paid because he doesn't like the way Jacksonville has handled this situation, I think that he comes in knowing he has his money, and you get the Jalen Ramsey from the last couple of years and not the pain in the ass that's been trying to get paid. So it's a roll of the dice, but that's where your hope comes from. It's like, okay, where can we go get a guy? Like, is this guy available? Like I saw Diggs was available today, and I started salivating.
No,
Diggs wanted to get traded.
That was
man! Well, wow! Imagine adding Diggs to this plethora of toys.
I know, but the guy who reported that was bullshit. It got
I'm just saying. When you have your quarterback, then you start thinking about the pieces that are missing. Even if you have all those other pieces, if your quarterback is missing, you're fucked.
Hey guys, can I bring in? Do you guys want another caller in?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Bring in another guy.
All right.
You never heard me say that before. Bring in another guy, Tim.
What's up?
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
What's
up,
going
buddy?
on, man?
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up?
Okay.
What do you want to talk about? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Justin and from Ohio.
What's up, Ohio? What's going on, buddy?
This offense I'm liking. I'm liking now with Daniel Jones instead of Eli.
Fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
They seem a little more into the game. Instead of either running slant or in routes every 5 seconds.
1 yard out.
Yeah, because Eli can't throw anymore. And
this is the prototypical quarterback. Yeah, this is a prototypical quarterback for Sherman system. So you're seeing it open it up a lot.
I'm sure Sherman probably wanted to start Jones from the start.
I would agree with you. I would definitely agree with you. Hey, would you? So you would agree
because you
that
can tell by the body language of Sherman.
So you would agree that you felt the energy on that team. It was just a different energy in watching that game on Sunday than it's been for the last couple of years. You would agree with that, right?
Yes, I didn't watch it live because I was at work. But when I watched it back, I was like, this is a different vibe.
Who the fuck are these guys?
I was like, wait, am I watching the Giants? Wait, what?
It almost looked like we had talent.
Wait, it's amazing. What? And I don't want to be a dick. Well, I do. Okay. Right? I definitely want to be a dick. right? But isn't it amazing, Tim? And it's just unbelievable, right? Like how it worked out. And I would never ever wish injury on anyone. You've been on,
Yeah.
I've said a lot of bad things on this podcast, Tim. One thing that I've been consistent with is anytime anybody ever goes there, I never wish injury on a guy. I never want anybody to get hurt. We always fucking try to handle that with a little respect, right?
Yeah.
I would have never wanted. I was terrible when Barkley got hurt. My fucking heart jumped in my throat, and I was praying it was an ankle. Right at that point, I was just saying,
Yeah.
okay, give me a high ankle sprain and a month to 6 weeks, because if it's an ACL or his knee, Jesus Christ, who knows what that now becomes, right?
Yeah.
So, I would never wish for a guy to get hurt, but it was just weird how for a year we've heard about the running back making everybody better, right? How that was going to happen. How the running back was going to make everybody better. And in the first half, when that running back was targeted by a defense, even with the quarterback, he struggled. And you could say what you want against the Bucs defense, but they got pretty solid defense. They got a pretty
And their defense is actually
that
pretty on
front seven.
paper is
That
really
front
good.
seven isn't. That front seven is not bad. You want to talk about their backside? We can talk about their backside all day long. Okay, but their front seven is not bad. Okay, and it's a
Oh
small
wait,
sample
can we
size.
talk about
Couple of weeks.
wait? Speaking of defense, can we talk about O'Shane X? I don't know how to say the dude's last name. I never do. I probably never will.
Zimenez.
Examinas. There we go.
X-Men.
I'm liking that dude. I'm liking our outside linebackers. Our inside that's shaky.
I don't think we're that bad right now. Would I like some depth?
So,
Yes.
I like Ogletree, but we probably need like another inside guy.
Well, yeah, we got
Our
Conley.
our defense is basically set for the future. We just need to get
Well,
Janoris Jenkins
I wouldn't
out.
go. I wouldn't go that far. But
Yeah, I wouldn't
Tim,
go that
isn't it?
far. We need to
Back to
establish some
back to
pass rushers.
But we haven't seen
geez,
Julian Love, Corey Ballantyne,
there's a reason why
Julian
you
Love,
haven't seen them.
DeAndre Banker
There's a reason why you haven't
all at the
seen them.
same time.
There's
Yeah.
a reason why you haven't seen them. They're probably not playing very well on the practice field. So that's why.
Yep.
But Timmy, isn't it amazing that when the defense takes away that generational touch by God running back, and then the running back gets banged up, how the quarterback can just fucking carry a team?
Well,
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing when
100%.
the line has its worst game in 3 games and gives up 5 sacks? That, in the grand scheme of things, it really didn't fucking matter because of what's that position again, Tim? That you can mask all those deficiencies with if you have the right.
You can. The only thing
the
is
quarterback. Oh, that's fucking right. So the guy that was touched by God, they didn't. What was that all about, Tim?
well, here's
Did you see
the
how
one
that
thing
was?
that we haven't had in 15 years: a mobile quarterback. You guys don't realize it. He's one of the faster cornerbacks in the league.
There we go.
Not only is he one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league, he's accurate thrower.
15 years ago, we had Kurt Warner. We didn't have a mobile quarterback.
That's right.
And then it was
Fucking
Barry
Kurt was
Collins. So we
nimble.
haven't had one since fucking Jeff
Ever.
Hostetler, my friend. We want
Well,
to
Kurt
that's
was-
with that guy.
very true.
Oh, come on. Fucking Kent Graham used to scramble around. Dave Brown had a
Well,
set of wheels on him.
You remember when Dave Brown blew up Deion Sanders? Come on.
I do remember when I was in college. I was shit-faced drunk, and I'll never forget.
But
That was the greatest
I want to
thing.
ask Cap one question.
That was the greatest thing that fucking Dave Brown ever did in a Giant. It was the only thing that Dave Brown really ever did in a Giants uniform. Was in Dallas, right, Tim?
Yep.
And he went scrambling towards
Going right
the
to the
sideline.
sideline.
And he put his shoulder down, and do you remember what he did after he knocked him down? He fucking had the nerve to skip away like he fucking was a badass. Oh, Dave Brown.
And those years, and some of you guys might not remember them, but successes were hard to find. So
God.
that was a W.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was it. That was like the whole season. That and I think Tito Wooten returned like a fumble return that year. Whatever the fuck. I don't. I
Yep.
mean,
That was our last new. That was our last new quarterback.
Wait,
uh,
Cap, I want to ask you a question.
shoot.
Who do you think has a set position on this defense?
I don't think anybody does.
Really?
Mm-mm. I don't think anybody does. Here's the thing. I said this in in training camp. Right. Everybody was talking about these young kids flying up the depth chart, and I was like, guys, like that's like when you have fourth and fifth and sixth round picks flying up the depth chart, it means the guys in front of them aren't very good. That's what that means. On a good roster, you may have one guy climb up the depth chart that surprises some people, but for the most part, I mean that doesn't happen. You don't see teams bringing 13 free agents right before the fucking season starts to take a look at that.
And to be honest, Valentine is one of the guys you're talking about, and the reason he went up the depth chart so quick because Baker was out.
Well, and Beal was out, and
Yeah.
and they had and they have Hamilton there, and they have and who are the other fucking guys that have come and gone? I mean that they had there during training camp. I mean I think that there's potential to have guys that like I like Baker. I was high on Baker coming out of the draft before we got him. I thought he was a solid. I thought he was a solid
Did you
guy.
see the difference in the game from the first half to the second half when they had all the corners start playing man to man? I saw a different Baker. I saw a different Baker playing defense when he was just going straight man to man.
Janoris Jenkins got burnt again.
Here's where I am in reference to this roster. I see a lot of nice pieces. I see a lot of guys that can develop into good starters, but I don't know who those are going to be right now because the sample size is so small. Even the guys from last year.
Well, it's just like we talked about with Jones. This is all the nice thing about this year. It's just getting experience for all this youth.
But here's the thing: if an opportunity or a player becomes available in a draft or in free agency, then there's nobody on this roster right now on the defensive side of the ball that I'm looking at and I'm going, you know what? I'm not going to entertain that option because I have this guy.
No, I agree.
Not
with that.
at this time, right? If an outside linebacker becomes available that you know can get to the fucking passer, get to the quarterback 12, 13 times, and he's young and he's a young guy. I don't care if you have Carter or Zimes and you think you're high on them. You bring that fucking guy in if it fits.
The only thing I would say defensive tackle we're pretty set at.
We hope.
I think we're pretty. I would think we're pretty set at.
Jalen Ramsey talk.
Well, the Jalen Ramsey talk exactly. I'll get right into that. As I wanted to answer earlier was, I love with Jalen Ramsey. If we got him, I'd be pumped. The only thing I would say is, I don't care about giving him a big contract, but it's hard for me to stomach giving the guy a big contract on top of giving up draft picks to go get him.
Tim.
I don't want Jalen Ramsey on this team. I would if we were contending.
Oh,
you have a quarterback now. Guys, you have a quarterback. Guys, right now, if Jalen Ramsey walks in the free agency or he's franchise tag next year, would you be interested?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Yes. It's like,
all right. So
go sign him.
If you end up picking 15th this year, is the guy that you're going to pick at 15 a better player than Jalen Ramsey going to be?
I don't know.
If it's 15th overall,
you're gonna sit here and you want to sit here and make guarantees on that right now?
Well, that's true. I mean, but
because I can either have the best cornerback in the game. I can either have the best cornerback in the game, paid, locked up before the CBA.
Yep.
If you think all them other guys are good, if we get Ramsey, we're immediately contending. We don't get
Ramsey is a guy that makes other guys better because Ramsey takes away the best receiver on the field because he does what very few cornerbacks do. He goes, that motherfucker is mine.
Yep.
I'm going where he goes. Don't worry about him. I got him. And if he
No,
does catch the ball, he's going to feel
there's
it.
no way you're not selling me on Jalen Ramsey being on the Giants.
Exactly.
I
Right, Tim?
love the way he plays. Don't get
So
me.
if the coverage is better, does the pass rush become better? If you have a guy that can lock down the main receiver on the field, does that give Betcha more options and make him more creative, be able to use some of the pieces that he has? Think of it that way.
You contend immediately. Immediately.
I don't know if you contend immediately, but you take a huge fucking step forward. You take enough of a step forward that next year, if Jones plays anywhere to consistently as he did against the Bucs, even if he took a step back weekly and was that consistent, so he dropped a level and then was just that level consistent for the rest of the fucking year, right? If you saw that going into next year and you took away what? I don't know. Let's say 15 to 16. What does Ramsey want to get paid? 18 million, 19 million?
Oh, probably something like that.
All right. So let's go above and beyond and say you had to pay Ramsey $20 million. You go from $100 million to $80 million under the cap. You have $80 million now
If we get
cap-wise
rid of
next year.
Ogletree and Jenkins, we got to get
They're
rid of
going to. They're going to. So now
Jenkins
you're like,
is gone.
so now you have $80 million under the cap. You have your quarterback. You have Shepard signed. Ingram's not going anywhere. You may have to. Do they have to re-sign Ingram? They'll probably give him a contract.
No,
what's that going to cost?
He's still got a few years.
Okay, so you don't got to. You don't got to. He was a first-round pick, so you have the option on him. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's got a fifth-year option on top of if you would franchise a tight end. What are tight ends
So how we already talked about X-Man and Carter and some of the young pieces that we have that we hope can develop into something. But what can you do with $80 million? And even if you had to give up your first round pick this year, and you knew that you were replacing that with Jalen Ramsey, I mean, guys, you still have a second, 2 third-round picks.
But think of this.
Yeah.
What if the Seahawks do not resign Jadeveon Clowney and he goes to the market?
Are you fucking like no? I'm not wasting money on Jadeveon Clowney. I'm not paying him. I'm not paying him $15 million to get 8 sacks a year. No.
You need a guy that's actually
Timmy,
an outside linebacker.
Tim Agba.
What?
Do you remember when they traded? They made the two. Do you remember when they made the 2 trades with Cleveland? And
yes.
and you guys.
I know you wanted Agba.
You guys laughed. You guys fucking. I said if I was Gettleman, I would have wanted Agba. I would have wanted, and you were like, wow, fucking, what are you gonna do with Agba? Blah 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 blah. I was like, Agba's one of those guys, dude. That's just he's getting better. And he's coming into age.
Isn't he a 4-3 DN though? Honestly,
I don't give. He is a fucking football player. He could have played outside linebacker for them. That
to be
dude
honest,
is a
I wanted to trade
player.
the guy I wanted the Giants to trade for if they could was Joey Bosa.
I want to try. No, well, you could.
You know what?
Loved Joey Bosa out of college.
The time you could have definitely have gotten Agba in that deal. Instead, Dorsey trades Agba to Kansas City, and this morning I wake up to this. Where is it? I almost fucking threw up. Agba, currently number 2 ranked edge rusher in snaps per pressure, behind number 1 Nick Bosa. Nassib and Agba total 4 sacks. Olivier Vernon 0. Dorsey should have kept Zietler and these 2 guys. How about that?
We robbed them.
How about that?
Except did not get the guy you're talking about.
Well, yeah. Well, Kansas City did a good job of identifying that and Agba was on the out. He was one of the names that they were looking to possibly trade, and Gettleman didn't identify him. And I thought that was a way to get an up and coming pass rusher on this roster. And look at that fucking guy now. I'm nauseous, Tim. Like that's the shit that makes me physically sick to my stomach. Like that. Like Agba keeps me up at night. Like that's how sick I am.
Well, that's a problem. Agba
that's how sick I am, dude. That's I honestly Tim, you know me, dude. All fucking day, like I was mumbling his name, like fucking Agba, like Gettleman, like fucking. You should have fucking got Agba in the fucking deal. I would have been so happy if you could have just got Agba.
Oh God, James, they don't realize the chat that goes on a daily.
No, I love and I love when I get
year
told not a
round,
Giant fan. I'm like, if you fuckers only knew.
year round, it's arguments. Like you guys just get a snippet of it on the show, and
And I
actually
feel bad.
half the
And
time it's calmed down. It's calmed down after the chats.
I feel bad for these guys because I am 100 miles an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And these guys get the fucking, God love them. They get the fucking brunt of it. So, yeah.
Well, all you Captain Negative people that love him, uh, you know what? I don't know if you love him if you're getting messages at like 7 in the morning that because he just read an article that pissed him off
Fucking
because
Agba.
Giants. It might affect it might affect Giants in 3 years from now.
Wait,
That's
Cap,
how
I
I
want to
wake up
ask
with
you
it.
something. I want to ask you
Yeah.
something.
Go ahead. I want to
In the
hold on. Wait a minute.
offseason-
I'm trying to see what time I sent that message to Tim this morning.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I've had plenty of those 7 o'clock messages.
No, I know.
Where,
The Agba thing was just fucking hilarious today, and it was super early. I'm just trying to see what's your question, dude. I'm just trying to see what time that was.
would you send a 2021 first round pick to the Chargers for Bosa?
Would I send what?
For Joey Bosa?
Yes.
Why would the Chargers do that?
They would never. They would not do that. But if that he was for just the first round pick, yeah, absolutely, you take Bosa.
If you're gonna offer first rule of Fight Club, if you're gonna offer trades, always think about what the other fucking team is gonna do. Like always, like put yourself in the other team's position. Like, why in God's fucking name would they do that?
All right, Cat. Frank Clark is the #1 free agent edge rusher on the list right now per Bleacher Report. Seattle's probably going to get him anyway.
Yeah, I would imagine that he resigns in Seattle.
Yeah,
Who's
Seattle don't let that fucking go away. And then the next one is the Jags kid. I don't know his last name, but Yannick fucking Nagu.
No, he's nasty. I would take him.
But
I like that
Jacksonville has some.
How old is he?
Too next.
How old is
young.
he?
He's young. That'd be a second.
Yeah, but he's one of those.
Contract.
Tim, he's one of those guys like an Agba that is like that if. See here, you got to look around the league at these kids that teams can't afford their second contract, but they're starting to flash, right? So maybe they were a third or fourth round pick, and now they're starting to get it, and it's been 3 years, and they're getting released or they're getting moved on because the team knows they're not going to be able to afford them, and they're going into another young talent. But these guys have some fucking skill. A guy like Agba, a guy like Nwekawakawa, whatever the fuck his name is. Like those type of guys are the guys that you want to invest in. Tim, another guy like that.
That kid from Jacksonville, I'm a big fan of. He's
Tim.
nasty.
What about Tim? We both wanted the kid from Baltimore, Smith, this season in free agency because we felt the same way. Like, all right, this is a kid that is going to take another step, and you're going to get the best years out of him while Baltimore developed him, right? So it was like. Those are the guys that you got to look into. Who's the third guy?
Yeah, you want the guy the step before he hits his prime. Just the step before. Be like, pay him a little bit less.
Yeah, because then you're paying under market value.
Exactly.
And you're getting superior talent for 2 to 3 years under market value. That's the champagne room right there. That's the dream.
And the nice thing is we're going to be spending next year. We're going to be making moves.
We should have a lot to spend next year, yes.
Well, it's also mattering on who's out there.
I want
Frank Clark.
I want Ramsey. Every day that goes by and every report and fucking Bleacher Report. Today I was sitting down having dinner. I fucking started pumping my fist because he's telling them he's keeping away because he's having the baby. I don't even know if his wife's pregnant.
Who's all the defensive players available next year, like the top ones?
It's tough now to say. I mean, because
You never know.
The
The
big
franchise-
names though, the big names are Clowney, Clark. Lawrence already signed. He's on here. Vic Beasley, did he sign an extension?
Oh, I would like
Beasley.
Vic Beasley.
Vic
From
Beasley's
Atlanta?
a good football player. Yeah,
Did he just sign though? Didn't he sign in the offseason?
he
Yeah,
might
he
have.
already got his big contract up, though.
I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure if he's under contract or what his contract looks like. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I mean,
we
Vic,
should be going after pass rushers regardless.
Yeah, that's all I'm
At
looking
least
at. I don't give a shit about
just
anything.
at least one solid pass rusher.
Yep. And it
But
depends
honestly,
on who Dave Gettleman likes of the current group
Well,
that we have.
let's also keep in mind that we're sitting here spitballing, and the odds are is that Dave Gettleman isn't going anywhere near Jalen Ramsey. So you're gonna have your first round pick. Now the question
Yeah.
becomes of where that first round pick is going to be and who's available there to
Wait, but
who fits that need if you want to go that route.
well, everybody's been mocking until obviously we got our win because they thought we were going to be garbage. They've been mocking Chase Young.
here, wait, let me ask you this. What if we get an
Going.
early pick? Would you trade that pick back to get more picks?
Absolutely.
Well, it depends.
No,
Where am I
you're using-
picking? Where
How
am I?
high?
Where
Well,
am I?
you're picking-
Where am
well,
I?
you want
Where am I
superior talent.
picking? It's really early to have this conversation. It's
Yeah.
where am I picking? What's the cost? Like, am I high in the draft? And is there a quarterback on the board?
Let's
Because
just say you're picking 6, like you were this past draft.
It depends who's on the board and what's the offer.
Yeah.
What like who's in front of me that I could take, and what's the offer that's behind me? Like I don't that all depends, all relative. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and fucking like, yeah, I would definitely entertain it.
Well, yeah, absolutely trade back if you can. But the thing people got to realize about trading back is
unless if
you want superior
there's
talent to add to this team.
if there's a quarterback that I love that's in front of me, I probably take the quarterback. If I have a quarterback and there's a pass rusher that I love, I would probably take the pass rusher. If I needed a cornerback or a left tackle and the guy I loved was in front of me at those 4 positions, I would probably make the pick and take one of those 4 guys. I think
there's the
if I had if I had those guys solidified and I wasn't in love with the player that was in front of me, then I would definitely entertain trading back in any scenario where it was given, because I believe that
here's
the
my
draft
thing.
is a lottery, and the more picks you have, the better.
The 2020 draft should be all defense. It should be all defense, and then worry about offense in the 2021.
There's players in every draft, dude.
Yeah.
Just like there's there's depth in this one, there's depth in that one. Like I heard there wasn't what position this year, Tim, where there wasn't a lot of depth in offensive line. We heard. Let me tell you something. There's going to be a couple of guys that are going to stick around that are going to be good football players that were drafted in the 3rd and 4th and 5th round of this year's draft that are offensive linemen. So, like, the draft is a complete crapshoot. The more rolls of the dice you have, especially after after your first round, like just you're rolling dice. Like it's like, hey, rolling dice, and even the first round is a fucking crapshoot. So, like, just get as many picks as you can in certain situations.
The nice part would be
rolling the dice.
Exactly. We're gonna have money. Excuse me. We're gonna have money for free agency, so we're gonna be filling up the roster that way. The draft should just be whatever the top talent is, add it to the team. It's gonna make us better.
Well, here's the other thing is, and I think this is going to be really, really important, and this is something that I'm really concerned about with Gettleman writing the checks, is because the last couple of years there's been some, and this is why I can't, everybody, like, if he got it right on Jones, tip of the cap, but that doesn't fucking absolve the sins of the past, because some of the contracts that he's handed out are completely ridiculous. Some of the moves he's made are completely fucking ridiculous, and he's the one that's writing the check. So who is he giving the money to? Like, is he signing a 30-year-old fucking pass rusher or wide receiver to a 6-year deal because he fucking just likes the guy? Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that I trust Gettleman with that fucking money.
Well, as far as honestly, Solder could be out of here come next year as well.
That's a
You don't
huge.
know.
It doesn't that that's a, but that's we're trying to get out of cap hell. Like that's gonna knock. You're gonna take a nasty knock penalty wise
Of
if
dead
you
money.
trade Soldier.
I'm not
Yeah.
even saying. You
Wait,
know,
how much dead money is Solder's deal?
We'd have to look at it, but if
well, he's in the middle of his deal. He should have got most of his
no,
signing
dude,
bonus at this
look,
point.
somebody look that up. Somebody look up Nate Solder's contract against the cap, and or versus the cap, and I guarantee you what'll come up on Google is probably over the Nate Solder, and you'll see like overthecap.com, and if you click on it, it'll probably fucking bring up his entire contract, and you can see what the cap hit would be. You can see what he's getting paid cap wise. Nate Solder is, if I'm correct, being paid as the highest left tackle in all of football, and that, my
Not
friend,
anymore.
is
Not
what you
anymore.
call
At the time,
a
he
fucking
was.
travesty.
At the time, he
Holy
was, but he
shit.
wasn't.
Holy shit. Because that is a terrible So that's like next year going into that, like with $80 million, it's like, okay,
Holy fuck!
how much you right? Somebody saw it.
$13 million of dead cap?
There you go.
Oh,
Boom.
fuck no, we ain't cutting Solder.
So that's you can't cut them.
No,
So you're
can't.
fucked.
You either have to restructure the contract or you have to eat it.
That's it. So
God, this is a
you're
fucking
basically,
Jacoby Ellsbury
and
type deal.
that is a guy that has never been, that is a guy that has never made it to an All Pro. That is a guy that's just been a solid left tackle, and Gettleman gave him that contract. So when
But
I
hey, in
go, he
2021,
also gave Golden Tate at 30 plus years old a fucking 4-year deal. He also signed Martin. He also sold us a bill of goods on Jonathan Stewart. Tanny is still on this fucking roster for some reason. So
I don't
like
know why Danny's on this fucking roster.
there are things that have gone on here that when you say here, gentlemen, here's $80 million.
He'll
Where
spend it like an idiot.
where is that money going, Timmy? Where is that money going, buddy?
Hey, Golden Tate's dead cap is only $7.5 million next year.
Well, no, that's different because the fact is after the suspension, all that guaranteed money is out. So honestly, I
Wait,
think we
really?
can yeah, because after he got suspended, now I think Golden Tate, if we really wanted to cut him, we're free and clear.
Oh, damn, that's how that works. I
I
forgot
thought
how it.
I saw
forgot.
that
Fuck.
too. I thought I saw that too. To be honest, but I thought there was some caveat where with the suspension or because of the games played or something where they had the chance to get out of it. So but who
Just
knows if
happened to
they will?
Antonio Brown.
Who knows if they will? I mean, they did
Well,
sign him.
honestly, I want to see what
They didn't sign him to
I'm
cut
curious.
him, Tim.
I'm curious to what Golden Tate's going to do when he comes back. He's played well. He's played well all training camp. So that's going to be a nice,
Listen,
nice addition.
Golden Tate is Golden Tate. Golden Tate is a good receiver, and that's what he is. He's a good, tough yards
Yak.
after the catch receiver. You know, I
He's a
think
guy
he'll
that
be a
can
nice.
get open. That's all
Yeah,
I really care. He can get
he's gonna be
open.
a guy that'll move the chains. He makes tough catches. He's a good football player, but he's 31 years old, and I
Here's
don't
the thing.
necessarily
He comes back
know that was a
this
great
Sunday.
contract.
The trade deadline is week 8.
Next Sunday.
Wait. Oh, yeah, next Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
The trade deadline is week 8, right?
His first game is against Minnesota at home.
And then
That's
New
right.
England
And then New England.
Oh,
in
fuck.
Foxborough.
Welcome.
No
Logan.
trade value, bro.
In Foxborough. Great. That kills his trade value immediately. So fuck what I'm
Well,
about to say.
No,
Xavier
they're
Rhodes
not.
Golden
gonna
Tate's
be
They're
not getting
not.
following him.
traded, guys.
Hey,
Golden Tate's
they're,
not getting traded. Let's
no,
be honest.
they're not
The
traded.
only one that might get traded is Jenkins, and that's the only one that's a possibility.
Wait, who's taking Jenkins though?
Well, their window has closed on Janoris Jenkins.
Yeah, their window closed last.
If they were going to move on Janoris Jenkins, the time to do it was in 2018.
Yeah.
That was the time to do it. You would have got probably a second or third round pick for him possibly at that time. Now you probably would get a fifth round pick.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
a
it's
fourth for a desperate team if you got into a bidding war and somebody just really needed a corner.
really
That's
needed a
why,
cornerback.
Tim, let me throw this deal at you, right?
Go ahead.
Hey Tom, I call up and I go, hey Tommy, remember me? Remember Dave Gettleman, Tom? Listen, that pain in the ass cornerback that you have. Here's what I'm going to do, Tom. Right? I got an unmotivated fucking guy here too. This guy got talent. You know he has talent, right? I mean,
Well,
you've seen
Tom
it,
Tom coaches Janoris. So
don't butt into my conversation with Tom. So, Tommy, listen. So you know this guy Janoris. You know he can contribute, and I know that if you trade Jalen, you're probably not going to get anything close to him back. So here's what I'm going to do for you, Tommy. I'm going to give you Jenkins. All right, I'm going to give you Jenkins. And I'm going to give you my second round pick this year. And Tommy, to be honest with you, it's probably a top 40 pick, right? I mean, you see my roster here. I'm selling Tim, is what I'm doing. You see that, right?
yeah.
So you're going to end up with a top 40 pick, right? And then I'll give you a first round pick in 2021. And if you need a sweetener, Tom, I'll even give you a fifth round pick in 2021. Or if you want to be a dick, you could take a fifth round pick this year too. But Tom, give me Rams. Would you swing that deal? You think Coughlin would even entertain that deal? Jenkins, a second this year.
Well,
A
if you
first
gave
in
up all
20.
that for Jalen Ramsey
Well,
and
they're
imagine what
asking.
Jacksonville's doing, I would
Oh,
say Tom be all over that.
can
But
you? But to me,
I'm not
Tim,
gonna lie. I'd be kind of,
that's
and I
worth the
like Jalen
price.
Ramsey a lot, and I like Jalen Ramsey a lot. But giving a second and a first, and
They're asking for two firsts. You got to pay to play, baby, and you got to think of it this way: Jenkins is a wash. Like to me, like Jenkins is like I'm throwing them
yeah,
trash.
that's whatever. Because that's just you're cutting them next year anyway. So whatever. That doesn't mean anything.
So yeah, right. So I'm paying. So basically, I paid a second this year and a first next year. It's Jalen fucking Ramsey. Like there are certain play. It's sort of like what the Bears did for Khalil Mack, right? Like if the guy
Yeah,
is that fucking good, do the draft pick really
and you saw
matter?
what the difference it made when Khalil Mack went to the Bears. Which
And and
I'm
and
mad.
and
I'm
look,
mad that we didn't try to make that trade.
and look at the situation, Timmy. I mean, you're still looking at bringing back 80 million fucking dollars worth of cap space, and you would still have in that deal, you would still have your first round pick. Now, if you
And
wanted to be a
and
dick,
obviously, but the one thing you have to worry about is the flip of the coin. What Jalen Ramsey are you getting in the locker room?
you're gambling. You're gambling on that you're getting the guy that was the first couple of years. Because I honestly, and this is me, I'm not a guy that says pay this guy, go get this guy, blah blah blah. I joke around like, oh yeah, go get Josh Gordon and shit. But like, when it
Oh,
comes to
Jalen
paying
Ramsey
guys,
by far, if you want
when it
to
comes
say
when it
he's the
comes to
best
paying
corner in the
guys,
league.
I'm like, nah, fuck him, cut him, don't pay this fucking
Wait,
guy,
Cap,
right?
here's the thing. Jalen Ramsey got pissed off because he
Jalen Ram,
couldn't play man
no,
coverage.
no. Jalen Ramsey is pissed off for one reason because Jalen Ramsey hasn't got paid. That is
Well,
why
and also
Jalen Ramsey is pissed off.
that other kid in Jacksonville, they're getting pissed off that he hasn't got paid yet either. They're not running stuff right in Jacksonville as far as paying.
Jalen Ramsey is mad. Jalen Ramsey can give a fuck about anyone else and their business. Jalen Ramsey being paid. Didn't he show up to camp in a fucking Brinks truck and get it was like a fucking hype man announcing him coming into fucking training camp? Like Jalen Ramsey wants to get paid. And if Jalen Ramsey gets paid, look at the guy that you're getting on the field. You're talking about a tone setter, a guy that completely eliminates the best receiver on the field. And guys, look around our fucking division. Are there some receivers you want to? Cooper, Jeff, this kid McLaurin's giving people
Yeah.
fits in fucking Washington, or is Jenkins like? So you think that this defense can use a guy like that?
Yep. Wait, here's another thing I want to ask you, Cap. It's on offense, but I like Stephon Diggs, who I guess it got brought up on a radio show that he requested a trade or something.
Who's this?
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs. I guess someone
Now,
on.
with Tate coming back, they're not going to be on Diggs. But yeah, I saw that before too. They mentioned that Diggs was maybe unhappy in Minnesota, and
I mean,
I was like, ooh,
a wide
Diggs.
receiver core of Tate, Shepard, Stephon
No,
Diggs.
no. The reason why the reason why you're not afraid to give up the picks for Ramsey is because he's a cornerback, and positionally, that position, if you get a guy like Ramsey, equals wins. You have your
Well, the
wide
biggest thing,
receivers.
if he's
You
good in
don't
the
want to give
locker
up. I'm
room,
not giving up draft picks for wide receivers. Diggs is
well,
a
the
nice,
thing,
fun idea to tinker
yeah.
with and talk about. But when it comes down to it, I'm not giving you a draft pick, a third or a fourth round draft pick for Stephon Diggs when I have Tate coming back and I have Shep on my roster and I got Barkley and Ingram. Like, no, I don't need it.
Well,
Sorry.
just look at it like this, guys. The fact is, we had no problem scoring points. I need to stop people from scoring points.
Yeah, to me,
And
like when you
you
look
need
at the
to add to the
need,
defense, not to the offense.
when you look at the need we have plus the positional value, that's why I would never ever I don't take trading, and Tim, you could attest to this. I don't take trading a first or second round pick lightly. I'm always trying to
Yeah,
acquire more picks, not give them
I'm
away.
not surprised. I'm actually kind of surprised how bad
It's
you want
because
Jalen Ramsey. I
it's
mean, I'm
because
not
of his,
surprised because he's nasty,
because
but
he's nasty. Like that's what I mean. That's what it is. It's his talent.
Exactly.
He
I mean,
basically wants Jalen Ramsey as bad as I want Joey Bosa.
Yeah, but
Joey
Jalen
Bosa
Ramsey right now,
that's a pipe dream.
I'm
That's never
not
gonna
sitting
happen.
here.
He'll
I'm
never
not
leave
sitting
San
here and
Diego.
just picking out players I like and saying that I want to go out and get them. Like there's a difference. Like Ramsey right now is technically available with everything that's going on. Bosa's not.
I just saw him. I'm watching TV right now, and he's left the facility for the birth of his second child.
You know, I'm not on here screaming shade for Chad Kelly because I got a man crush on him. You
You
know,
don't need
like
to trade for him. He's a
I
free agent.
understand if you want. I understand if you want Bosa. I understand if you want Bosa, but it's not realistic. Like Ramsey right now is a realistic possibility. There's a chance that you can get a tweet or a text at any second now that says Jalen Ramsey has been traded to any host of fucking teams throughout the league, and you wouldn't be surprised. You might be surprised at the team, but you wouldn't be surprised that Ramsey got traded.
Actually, I thought the rumor was, honestly, I thought it was a done deal that he was going to the 49ers.
Me too.
I heard the Niners were in play as well. I heard the Niners wanted him bad. And let me tell you something. With that defense, you add if you added him with Sherman, like
Yeah,
ooh,
yeah,
It's
they
because
beefed
over.
up a little bit.
That's
that
over.
front seven, Timmy, is playing pretty well right now.
Who is?
And the Niners
49ers.
No, I like their
Tim,
I like the Niners defense.
tip of the
Garoppolo
cap.
is taking a step back.
Tip of the cap to you, Tim, on the Shaquille Barrett identification and how bad you wanted him in the offseason because he is fucking balling right now.
Yep, he's
So
and honestly, he's about to get paid like stupid
tip of
because
the
he's making JPP just restructured his contract today.
didn't you say you wanted him? I could have swore that you said that you wanted Barrett, you wanted him in some way, shape, or
He's
form or
he's
something
one of
like
the
that.
guys. I always here's the guys I look at. I look at let's like
I know you've
so-called
mentioned him
first round
before.
busts.
He's like your
He's a
Agba.
first round. He's like first round quote unquote first round bust because half the time they're just bad. They're put in a bad team, bad position. They get the talents there as long as they're not a head case. And obviously, Shaq Barrett, he had the talent, and obviously he's showing it now. He's tearing it up, and he obviously tore it up shoulder bad. But those are the guys, just like we talked about. You want that little step before they make the step into being like, oh shit, this is how good I am.
Yep. And that's
Those are the guys we need.
I'm gonna have bad dreams about Agba.
Oh.
Oh, who's that linebacker from the? Oh God, frick. There was a linebacker from the Browns that I wanted. God damn it, I gotta research his name now. Fuck. What was that one?
Kirksey?
God.
Kirksey?
Wait.
Inside linebacker, outside linebacker, or what?
Yeah, it
Miles
was
Garrett.
Curtsy.
That's who. He wants Miles Garrett. This guy. He wants Bosa
No, not
and Miles
Garrett.
Garrett
I knew we were.
and who else?
Kirksey.
Who else do you want?
All right,
Yeah,
Kirksey's all right.
Curtsy.
Von Miller. Wants everybody.
Well, honestly, you know what? I would love the Giants to go out and get a top middle linebacker to put next to Conley. You know,
Conley, I'm liking.
oh, Conley's definitely a big surprise. I like the way he plays, and you saw when he was running the defense in the second half that the defense
Smart
looked a
kid.
lot better.
He's a smart kid. Smart kid.
And that's the biggest thing is everybody this year, wins and losses mean nothing because we have our quarterback. We literally have our offenses almost set. Other than offensive line could definitely be improved
Yeah.
upon. But you get all these defensive players, you get all this youth experience.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Did you guys see Dexter Lawrence is starting to come up? He didn't even get credit for blocking one of the field goals. They were
I
pumping him
like
up
Dexter
about
Lawrence.
Oh, and I just saw something that makes me a huge liar.
what's that?
What?
Remember I just said I wouldn't trade anything for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
What just happened? Did Dave Gettleman derp again?
No, nothing happened. I just saw a random tweet of somebody mentioning that someone saved Tennessee wide receiver Chris Davis,
Oh, Corey Davis.
Corey Davis, and that a guy like that,
I would take it a second.
yeah, I would enter.
He's got talent.
I would entertain a draft pick because I think that he's one of those like the fucking like the ceiling, Tim, for him is just sky high. He needs to get the fuck out of there. It's not him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not him in Tennessee.
No, it's Mariota.
Oh my God! It is not him. Like if there's
what's the
anyone
guy's
that
name
needs to
again?
get the fuck out
Corey
of a place,
Davis.
Corey Davis.
All right.
If there's anyone that needs to get the fuck out of a place, it is like free Corey Davis. Like San Francisco, call up like someone get that guy a quarterback to play with because it is a sin that his talent. He has to be the most frustrated fucking guy on the planet. Oh, I feel bad for him. But he's another one that, you know, if he's unhappy and you could see him getting moved too, possibly. I'll tell you something. I think it's going to be a very active next couple of weeks in the trade. I think you're going to see more trades than usual.
Yep. In the off season as well, I think the Giants will be very active. I think the Giants will be the most active team in the off season.
Well, let's.
I don't know about that. We'll see. I don't think it's really Gettleman's thing. And honestly, I rather this team build a team through the draft. I mean, definitely, I would love to some people, but don't overspend and don't spend just for the sake of spending.
I want Ramsey.
Wait, who's the best? Wait, I'm about to look up who's the best defensive player in next year's draft.
Chase Young.
Yeah,
Chase Young.
Yeah, the Ohio State kid who's tearing it up.
Oh, what? Ooh.
You are you
I like
in Ohio?
State kids. Yeah, I've watched the
How
guy.
the fuck don't you know that?
I've watched one Ohio State game.
Well, that's on you.
That's all you needed. That's all you needed to watch is to know that kid.
I'm just like, oh, what's his name? I was forgetting what the dude's name is because I've watched one football. I've watched like 2 football games this season.
Jesus Christ! You better not say that like out loud where people in Ohio can hear you. Don't they like kill people for that shit out there?
Yeah. Oh
No,
wait.
you just get a
You
backhand.
ain't
No,
watch
you
the
just get a
Buckeyes,
backhand.
boy. What you
Also,
mean you ain't watch them Buckeyes, boy?
also near West Virginia, huh?
Is that
Uh,
did I just completely blow the whole Ohio thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did I make it seem like it's Alabama? Did you ever see the
all
SNL
of a
skit
sudden,
where they're in fucking?
you're either on
Did
the
you ever see
bayou
the SNL where
or
fucking
you
what's
got a
his?
pretty mouth.
They're in. Did you ever see where they're in Bangor, Maine, and they do Maine Justice, and the fucking Louisiana accent, and they're all in Maine? Did you ever see that, Timmy? I'm gonna send
No,
it to
I
you.
have not seen that.
It's called Maine Justice, and I forget who's the guy from Meet the Millers, that used to be on SNL.
Jason Sudeikis.
Sudeikis. Thank you that you know that a lot, right? So
Yeah.
Sudeikis plays this judge on SNL, and he's got this fucking thick Louisiana accent. And what it is they bring
Oh,
people
I do
into like
remember that skit.
they bring them
I
into
do remember that
people's
skit.
court. They bring him into people's court, and like the
Yeah.
guy's like he's like there from like fucking Maine, and he's like hanging out, and everybody in the fucking courtroom is from Louisiana. He's the fucking look at them Gators, boy. And he had Jamie Foxx and he had Timberlake with him. And both of them lost their shit laughing at him. He was so fucking funny. If you haven't seen that guy, like go on YouTube, find Maine Justice for SNL. And there are two skits. There's one with Jamie Foxx and there's one with Justin Timberlake. And then inbox us and say you're welcome or say thank you because you will enjoy every
Oh,
minute of it.
he goes over the top.
Oh,
With the
so
accent.
good. If you haven't seen it, it's so good. Round here, it's made justice. Some snapping gators, boy. My brother sends me those like fucking once a month. I'll just get a Main Justice clip. It's absolutely hilarious. Round here, Main Justice.
Well, I know that we got off topic already.
Oh,
I do got a question for you, James. James, have you watched Brightburn yet?
mm. Have I watched Brightburn yet? Yes. Was it not? Didn't I fucking inbox you guys like one night at like 11 o'clock at night out of nowhere and was like, Brightburn, watch it, amazing.
It's amazing. All right,
Oh,
I gotta watch. I've been messing around. I was gonna get it the other night, and
oh,
I love I love the concept.
It's all right.
Oh, Ned, your mom probably doesn't even allow you to watch it. Ned,
Well,
close the
I
window.
would say
Close the
something
window,
to
Ned.
spoil it for you, but
yeah, right. Really. Listen, you haven't. Have you seen Brightburn? You haven't seen it,
I haven't seen it yet.
Tim? Yeah, definitely watch it. I'm not going to go into it and ruin it for you or anything like that. Just enjoy. Do you know what like the fucking premise is, right?
Yeah, Superman's bad.
Yeah,
That's
like
why
what
I love
Superman
that.
comes down, like something happens, little baby comes down, and just imagine that those powers he just uses them fucking for not so good shit. And Tim, it is awesome.
Oh, that's what I like to see. It looked
And
awesome.
and and do yourself a favor, and stick around at the end. There at the end, I will. Here's what I'll tell you. At the end, there's like a news clip. Like there's somebody playing like a
there's
news
a
anchor
teaser
or
or
one of those,
something.
like on Fox News or CNN or some shit, right? And he's talking about stuff. Pay very
Okay.
close attention about what that person is talking about at the end of the movie.
Okay.
So don't
Is
like
it
just when it ends,
is
be
it a
like,
teaser?
click. It is,
Yeah.
dude. Yes. Yes,
Nice.
like two pretty sick teasers. Like they give you two little nuggets that are just like you're just like, wait a minute, could that be like if that's Superman, then I could only imagine that would be, and then maybe that would have to be
Oh, nice.
right.
So, so they're trying to do a whole series of all these guys saying "screw it, we're going bad," huh?
Let's see what happens. I'm not gonna jump into their story and tell it, but it was very intriguing. Look at the end of the movie to be like, oh shit, like they're gonna go this way. Like that's pretty fucking interesting. Like where they could take it. And when you see the couple of people that they refer to, it's pretty cool. And I'll just say I'll just throw this. Here's what I'll give you. Justice
Yeah.
League. That's the tease I'll give you. I'll give you Justice League.
Cool. Really
Mm.
interesting. Uh, now you got me pumped up. I'm more.
And by itself, like forget the teaser, like the movie by if they didn't do the teaser, the movie by itself is an hour and a half of just fucking fun. Like you're gonna enjoy watching it. It's a pretty cool movie. The kid is a fucking eerie bastard. He's really good in the part. Like they got the right kid to play the part.
Are you going to
Nice.
see the Lighthouse?
The hell's the
What's up?
lighthouse?
Um,
What's the light? What's the lighthouse? Is that one of your rom coms?
no, it's
Got Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan
it's a
in the
black and
lighthouse.
white.
Me at the lighthouse.
So I did hear you, Ned. So it's a
No.
psychological thriller. Who's it starring?
It's William Defoe and Robert Pattinson.
Now
So
is Robert Pattinson a vampire?
Batman.
no, he's a it's essentially like he's the
Batman.
assistant to
Batman.
Defoe, who's like the captain, and they're in charge of like watching over the lighthouse until
You're
shit
not really
starts to
you're not
hit
really
the
pumping
fan.
me up for this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Look,
Yeah.
you know what?
Actually, then I'm
I
gonna make
can't
sure
do the trailer
right
justice. Watch the trailer. That's my recommendation.
now I'm actually pissed that Pattinson's playing Batman.
Are you? You know what?
Just from Ned's
I thought
description
Ben
of
was a good
just
Batman.
just from Ned's description of that movie. I was all gung ho for it before. I didn't mind it before. Now I'm
Robert
like,
Pattinson's
what
gonna
the
be is
fuck?
he gonna be all sparkles?
Yeah.
Get the glitter going when he's a Batman.
Now, Did you hear about the latest on that little tidbit? I heard two little things about it. I heard one that I don't believe, and one that I do believe. The one that I do believe is that the whole rogues gallery, so like a lot of the Batman villains are going to be in this movie, and if they're not physically in it, they're going to be referred. So they're setting up the entire universe. Um,
Oh, nice.
Also,
Oh boy,
the one
that
I
evil
don't
went
believe
wrong.
is that the end of this Joker movie that's coming out on October 4th is that there's going to be in with the new 2020 on the Pattinson Batman that's coming out like in the. I don't know
Okay.
if I believe that, but here's another little tidbit for you that got me excited because I'm not a Marvel guy. I was never a big Marvel guy comic growing up. I was always in
Yeah.
DC, right? So the DC movies have pissed me off because they haven't held a candle to Marvel. I look at Marvel and I'm like, fuck, I wish that was the shit I grew up with. Well, J.J. Abrams just signed on with DC fucking for like a fucking $100 million, some insane fucking amount of money. So J.J. Abrams has taken over, and he's going to be intricately involved in building the universe out from this Batman movie. Get ready,
Nice.
knows where they're going to go. Yeah, I thought that was
Well,
pretty cool. So that's
you know
some
what? The
interesting
thing is with
tidbits there.
DC, what
There's
they
some
should have
nuggets.
done is
What's your
introduce
nugget?
all these damn characters. Almost steal exactly what Marvel did. Was build up the characters, then do the Justice League and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
they
they went about it
jumped
wrong.
the
The
gun.
guy they
Yeah, they
hired,
went about it all.
Like
yeah,
Aquaman
fucking
was awesome. I thought Aquaman was really good.
fucking
No,
Zack
I also
Snyder
heard there's
turned
some. I
everything
also
into a
heard.
brood fest.
I
Everything's
also heard that
depressing.
there's some I guess storyline in a Flash comic from back in the day. Flashpoint, I think it's called. Um,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
and
I know
what
what.
it is that Flash does some shit and
He goes
ends
back in
fucking up.
time and all that stuff.
Does some alternate universe where the characters are the same but they're different people. And now, so what the rumor is, and what they're trying to consider doing is, do they wipe a clean fucking slate, right, and get rid of the Aquaman that we know and the Wonder Woman that we know, and then like reboot
I
it,
don't think they're stupid enough to do that. Wonder Woman,
or
it
or
can carry that franchise. And Aquaman,
or
he did great as Aquaman.
or do you use the Flash movie to put in place a scenario where with Flashpoint you can create an alternate now universe to build off of that Flash has created that has some of the same characters, i.e., that you want to keep Flash, Batman, I'm sorry, Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and then replace the new ones that are coming with Batman, and you know what I'm saying? And you can get away with it through the Flashpoint storyline.
Yeah, it's true. And I know about the Flashpoint thing. He
I
goes
mean,
into
here's the
what
thing: they were setting up for Injustice, which I don't know if you guys know what that is, but the basic
that's the
premise is,
villains get their own
Superman's
Justice League.
evil. Well, Superman's evil. That's sort of the premise
Bad
of it.
Superman. Yeah, that would have been
Yeah,
awesome. I would have loved to have seen that.
that's what they were clearly setting up for with the whole like
Death of
dream
Superman,
sequence.
and yeah,
So the question
because what
is,
didn't when
are
he
they going to
come back,
continue on that?
wasn't he supposed to be like like in the comics? Like I don't remember. I was just fucking. I'm old now. This is years ago when I read this shit. But didn't when he come back, wasn't he bad for a while? Like how did that happen? Or was there just a
Um,
storyline where he was bad? Or how did he become? Wasn't it the death of Superman, and then when he rose up, he was bad or some shit?
Not really. The way Injustice happened is the whole plot of it is Joker kills Lois Lane, and that drives Superman to kill the Joker, and he
Okay.
sort of gets this idea that it's like the best way to get, like, taking preventative
So the
measures,
Joker wins. The Joker wins. He drove Batman. He drove Superman to the dark side.
basically. Yeah,
I fucking love the Joker. I got to reread that now. Thank you, Ned, for telling me that. I appreciate that.
that
Thank
they
you for
actually
that.
have two fighting games based on it.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
produced by the same people who did Mortal Kombat.
How about that?
Man, while you guys, I'm watching like I had the
I
TV on the back. I have a TV on in the background with no sound on. LT and Harry Carson. Like LT's like breaking down like ridiculous.
did you see that?
Yeah, it's like they're having a roundtable with Ray Lewis, Harry Carson,
I sent
LT
you. I said, yeah.
Singletary.
I have to watch that show, but I sent you the clip where I saw LT breaking down. Yeah, he fucking.
Yeah,
He
I'm watching it
really
right
does.
now. I mean,
It's
he's like
yeah. It's
balling out right now.
yeah. It's sort of like when you watch it and you have when you have the sound on, you'll hear Carson. LT's speaking about their relationship, and how when LT retired, I guess they had a falling out between him and Carson. There was a falling out between the two of them,
Yeah,
and LT then refers to his Hall of Fame induction, and that Carson, you know, was showed up, and LT couldn't even get it out. He starts hysterical crying, and Carson then like puts his hand on his shoulder and starts speaking for him a little bit and says like, pretty much like LT's perception was like I had that we had a problem. And I never called this man Lawrence. I never called this man LT. I called him Lawrence Taylor. And the problem that we had that was Lawrence Taylor, but that was LT. But like I never had a problem with Lawrence Taylor. And then Taylor speaks back up about how Carson showed up and he was there for him, and it was really and Carson even says, he goes, we've never had this conversation. So it was something that was like an elephant in the room, and
Yeah.
it seems like LT just realized that maybe like because you remember that time 90, early 90s.
Yeah. James, you still there or
Was
what?
LT was doing some shit in the locker room now that probably would have got him suspended and wouldn't really be, too well
Yeah.
taken nowadays. Where back in the day, without social media, nobody really knew that shit until after the fact. And it sort of seemed like LT realized, like, wow, I might have been a dick, right? And he starts just breaking down, and Carson fucking just being the gem that he is, just picks him right back up. And it's really a great clip, and I can't wait to watch that show.
It's Friday.
Yeah, Friday night. Yeah, I can't wait to watch it Friday night.
Yeah, because well, Harry Carson, like as far as I know, was pretty much the mentor for LT as soon as he got into the
Well,
league.
Harry Carson was one of the best middle linebackers that has ever played the game. You want to talk about smart? You want to talk about leader? You want to talk about just physical and just just Tim. The guy never missed a fucking tackle.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he just
that's a
he
you know
just
what? That's one of those guys that
they
especially this
those
younger generation doesn't know anything about.
growing up watching those guys. Okay, spoiled a lot of Giant fans, like watching Eli Manning for the last 16 years. And if you grew up with Eli during his glory years, I
Yep.
think it was a lot easier for us to take because we've lived through the Kent Grahams and Dave Brown situations before, and Kerry
Yep.
Collins and that frustration and stuff like that. So when it was time to move on from us, we've been there. I saw Sims get cut,
Well,
but like,
honestly, that's why we were scared
would you
about
get
Daniel Jones in the first place because
would
all
you
we could think of is Dave Brown.
yeah, and it really oh God Jesus, don't even
We like the
say
kid
those two
was
names.
same school, same number.
We can't even.
Like,
I don't even want to. I don't even want to say their. It's like saying fucking what Bloody Mary in the mirror three. Like I don't even want to say those two names in the same sentence
but you're right.
together.
You're right. When we grew up,
We're
all
spoiled.
we knew was Giants always had amazing defense and could run the
Defense.
ball.
I remember the first time I went to a Giant game. I had to be no more than 6 or 7 years old. It had to be. I had maybe 83, 84. I think that there was a Monday night football game where the Giants played the Cowboys, and the Giants lost, but the Sims went the fuck off. Sims just played amazing, and it had to be around 85, somewhere around there, and like like the defense chant. Like it was just like you couldn't like I remember looking up and being like, what the fuck? Like I was young. I used to watch the games on TV with my dad, but I never fucking like realized but when you're there and at that age and you look up and there's 70 plus thousand people just defense, and the players on the field are fucking waving their hands and they feel it. Dude, like and then like not even like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this and then we'll let the team march down the field. Like no, like just a defense that imposed its will on people. Like to grow up with
They were
that,
so good. They were so
it
good on
just
defense.
it just spoiled you. And those years that it was difficult, it's like you think back and you're like, fuck. Like you remember those guys. Like you remember Harry Carson and you remember Lawrence Taylor and you remember Carl Banks and Pepper Johnson, and you realize wow, we were really spoiled. Like we were lucky to be Giant fans, to one, pick the Giants, and two, like to pick them during that time period where you had the pleasure of watching all those great players play every week. And Giants pride, baby. I mean, it was
Well,
just,
that's I just remember growing up, and you're still trying to figure out football at that point, and at that point, I don't even know who my team was. I was really young, but all I knew, because Giants were always going to be on TV. So we lived in New York, and I see this guy. The offenses are planning. Usually offenses are the aggressor, and you show them what you're going to do. Where LT was out there, it was like, we got to take care of LT, then we figure out what we can do from there.
yeah, like the
Defense.
first thing.
It was like, we got to make sure LT's at least doubled, or we're going to get killed.
Teams would the quarterbacks would their first. Teams in practice. It was the first time teams in practice were assigning guys and putting them in different colored jerseys, not to play quarterback, but to play linebacker to try to prepare themselves for Lawrence Taylor, so that their quarterbacks would be prepared to look for the blue 56 or the white 56. Because before you did anything on that fucking football field, you better find out where Bobby Boucher was.
Well, that was the awesome part, because literally they worried about LT. Then you got Carl Banks coming on the other side, crushing people. You got Pepper Johnson blitzing. You got Leonard Marshall coming off defensive ends.
Oh, they were so good. They were. Jim Burt. They were.
Woo!
They were so good. Dorsey. Oh my God, they were so good, man. They were a pleasure to watch.
And you know what? I'll even give a linebacker salute to Steve Diassi, who actually played pretty good linebacker, and his son's on the team now.
Yeah.
They've been on the team for about 15 years now, being our long snapper.
No, Diassi was a solid linebacker for us. He was tough.
And he was on her bench. He was on her bench, but he was a solid linebacker.
Yeah, they were like I told you when we went to
Gary
when we went.
Reasons. Pepper. Come on.
When we went to the Sims thing, and you know how much I love Pepper Johnson.
Yeah.
But when we went to the Sims thing, and somebody asked him who are the top 4 linebackers that you played with, and he said Taylor, Carson,
Yeah.
Bang, right? And then you're like, okay, yeah, all right, those are the 3 givens.
The obvious ones.
And I started thinking about, all right, names where he was there. So I started like Van Pelt came to mind. I said, well, maybe Van Pelt would be the guy. Then I said, well, Gary Reasons, right? But I wasn't thinking Pepper Johnson, right? For some reason, I don't know why. I wasn't thinking in the upper echelon linebackers.
Well, when Phil was killing it, Pepper was still young.
Boom. So he goes, you know what? The 4th one, Pepper Johnson. It would be Pep. And I was like, damn, because it really, like, I knew Pep was good, but like, to me, that was validation of just how fucking good Pep was. And the fact that maybe we didn't appreciate how good Pep was, and it went under the radar a little bit because of the fact that he was playing with those fucking maniacs.
Well, that's the thing is Pepper's, you just said the 4th best linebacker out there, and he was nasty, and I think people forget about him because he ended up going to Cleveland. He fouled Belichick.
Yeah. Yes, he did. All right. Well, I am going to bed, Tim. I got an early day tomorrow.
Wait, one thing. Wait, can
Go
I say
ahead,
one
sir.
last thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I just saw
Keep me up.
something that I really liked, because this dude from the 2017 draft that the 49ers are shopping in Solomon Thomas. I was like, I wanted this dude in the draft of 2017. And he's available? I was just looking up random NFL trade deadline news. I'm like,
now I'm with you as far as picking him up. I like to
Solomon
kick
How
the
much
tires.
do they want for him, though, is the issue.
My problem is, why did they give up on him already? That's my question. It's only
Well,
been like
probably.
3 seasons.
Well, the article I looked at was because D Ford and Nick Bosa are there. Because those two monsters are there.
Well,
I'm like,
the question
if
they went
Solomon
out
Thomason's
and got D Ford.
like,
You know, that's the one thing. They went out and got D Ford. So why did they go out and get D Ford?
Also, if he's really so good, why wouldn't you keep him as a depth piece?
I mean, if
But
they're looking to trade him, then John should be buying.
yeah, I would definitely be giving a call. See what's going on.
Because imagine 1 year you get Solomon Thomas to be on one side, and then in the draft,
But
if
in
you
theory,
can get Chase Young,
yeah, I definitely understand, man. The only thing I would say with that is Solomon Thomas hasn't done shit yet in the league.
Hey, Tim,
Yes.
before you head to bed, I did
Yeah.
link a Twitter video in the Discord chat. Strongly
Oh,
recommend you take a look at that. That is
okay.
a nasty move by Zimenez.
No, I like the way the kid's got a nice motor on him. And I definitely he's got talent. We're just gotta see how he develops. And that's what a lot of this youth on this defense. A lot of talent. Just gotta see where it develops too. But Betcher's definitely gotta do a better job as far
Oh
as
yeah,
matching up.
fucking dumbass doesn't know. I shouldn't say that because I couldn't be a
He's
defensive
matching up the
coordinator
youth.
to save my
Yeah,
life. But
it's only the first few weeks. Give him the mid-season, see if this defense looks a lot better, which I imagine it would. And
yeah, I don't.
a lot of new pieces just learning how to play together.
What frustrates me is that we were doing so well in the second half, and then for the drive that we need to make sure that they don't get a big play on. You know, luckily they missed the field goal, but he fucking reverts back to what was failing in the first half.
Well, I
well,
have no problem with him having Janoris follow Mike Evans. My problem with that is he's been killing Janoris all day. Give him a little safety help. Give him a little help over the top. Because there's no reason. You knew he was going to have to bomb it to Mike Evans to get in field goal range. That should have been covered. Now, I don't know if it was called and somebody messed up, but I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to say Betcher messed up if he didn't do that on purpose.
wait, one last question, I'll get off.
Yeah, I'm about to get off, so go ahead, real quick.
Would you trade a second-round pick in 2020 and Dalvin Tomlinson to the 49ers for Thomas?
No. Delvin Tomlinson's better than Salvin Thomas by himself. Tomlinson doesn't get credit, but he's a good defensive tackle.
Or BJ Hill?
BJ Hill's better than Tomlinson. I'm gonna tell you right now. We have really good defensive tackles. Now,
Yeah, we
and
just need people who can rush.
I definitely want. As far as for Salvin Thomas, hell no. Second round pick of Delvin Tomlinson. I'm like, listen, you want to go straight up? Maybe. You might, but I honestly, I would almost want more. You give me Salvin Thomas, and you give me a pick for Tomlinson.
Like, God, I want Chase Young so fucking much. Oh
Me
my
too.
That's not
God.
gonna. Well,
It's weird.
because of Daniel Jones, that's probably not gonna happen. But and it's a good thing.
I mean, it
We'll just-
depends on who's in front of us, right? If they're
Yeah.
looking for quarterbacks, we might.
Well, it
but-
matters. Hopefully, we're not in the top 10. Honestly.
Yeah.
No, I want to be in the top 10 to get Chase.
Well, in
Get
theory,
Chase
I would.
Young.
In theory, I would like to be in the top 10 when the draft comes, but that means we played that bad. I don't think we're going to.
It'd be
But,
better.
all right, guys. I'm out.
All right.
I got to work in the morning.
Off.
You guys have a good one. Bleed
Yeah.
Big Blue. Always.